So, a month ago, I uploaded a video talking about my favorite Dragon Ball Legends sparking units, and that video did pretty well. So, I thought, let's just make another one for extremes. Alright guys, we are back on Tier Maker, making another tier list for extremes. Now, I just want to say that this list doesn't include EX Zangia and EX Bojack. But yeah, with that out of the way, let's hurry up and get this thing started. So first up, we're gonna put Bulma in S tier because she is a perfect replacement for the Sparking one. She has just as good damage, and I think her green card is better. Same with EX Videl. She is a perfect replacement for the Sparking one if you don't have her. And she can easily put up the damage that her Sparking counterpart can do. Android 16 can go into A tier because he is a good support unit for androids, like if you on the EX Battle Royale, but he doesn't support androids for his Z ability, which can really, damage him. But we're gonna put EX Trunks in Dirty Laundry for obvious reasons, because he's trash. And we're gonna put EX Chilled in S tier for clearly obvious reasons. He just came out for the anniversary, and he's really good on Lineage of Evil. If you guys haven't tried him out, you need to try him out now. EX Pan isn't Dirty Laundry tier, but I'll put her in B tier because she's still used for female warrior support. And Tien can go into A tier because he can put up damage, but there's not much teams he can go on besides Super Warrior, and no one uses Super Warrior. Same with Cell Jr. Not many teams go on teams, but not many people opt to use him. But people do use EX Gohan, which is an immediate S tier because of his stats and his support for Sun Family and hybrids. I would put EX Vegeta in S tier, but he doesn't put up that much damage. Like when he first came out, of course he did. He put out some damage, but not anymore. So, Master Roshi. Okay, he's an interesting one. The way he was supposed to be used is unique, and it's really good. But he can't really put up that much damage. And I don't really have anything to talk about with these guys. So I'm just gonna throw them in there without saying anything about them. But I'm gonna say something about Semi-Perfect Cell, which is still being used today for regeneration and androids. He is okay. He desperately needs a buff. Well, I think I kind of goofed here, so let me just change this. Alright, there we go. I kind of goofed there, but my bad. So, anyway, next up we have EX Trunks, Super Saiyan EX Trunks. And we're going to throw him in B tier because he is still good, somewhat good for hybrids and feature. And my first God tier unit is going to be EX 17 for obvious reasons. He's probably one of the best EXs in the game. He's probably even better than some Sparking units. But we're going to play Yamcha and Dirty Laundry. Even though he got a buff, he's still not that great, because there's not many teams he can go on. And we're gonna put Mai in God tier because she is just as good as her Sparking counterpart, and she's really good. Like if you don't have Sparking Mai, use this one. And we're gonna put Goten in B tier right here because we're gonna put Goten in B tier because he was like really one of the best EXs in the game when he came out. Like really, his strike attack was unrivaled. I used to use him all the time. But now we have EX Chaozu, which can go into D tier. And I put EX Chaozu in D tier because he's not as bad as Tien, but he's still bad. And next we're gonna put Trunks in C tier because he's not as good as Goten, but his blast attack is still okay. Alright, next S tier unit is Fasha, because she is good support for two teams. She is good for Saiyans and female warriors. And next up is GT Trunks, which is another God tier unit because of his amazing attack and support, which I think is really cool. And next up we have what's his face? Yellow Piccolo. He could be better if he actually supported an independent tag. He only supports yellow. If he supported like regen or something, that would be pretty cool. But this guy does support regen, which throws him right up into God tier because, you know, he's not as good as the normal Janemba. I would put him in S tier, but I feel like he's like one of the best regen counters for Super Vegeta. And another Dirty Laundry character is First Form Cell. Not much to say about him. He's just trash. Zarbon can go into A tier because I like his kit. I like how he works, and I like that you have to like run him with Frieza, so he can be really good. I like that. So next up, we're gonna put Android 18 in C tier. Honestly, it's sad how far she's falling off. Like, I remember Riku the Best did a video on her, and she was so good, but now she's absolute garbage because, you know, Super Vegeta and Trunks are running around. Alright, so next up we have Third Form Frieza, which can go into S tier. He had a buff recently for the anniversary update, and his buff was phenomenal. He works on Lineage of Evil and Frieza Force. That's insane. And his damage is awesome. This fucking boy's crack. Alright, Kabe can go into Dirty Laundry. I'll just throw Frost in there because I'm already gonna throw him in there, so yeah. And next up we have Extreme Tora, which I kept pulling so much EX Toras and literally no Fossas. But I got Fossa recently for the EX Battle Royale, and Tora is just as good. He is an amazing damage. He's an amazing damage dealer. My voice keep cracking. I'm sorry. But next God tier unit is going to be EX Trunks again, and this one is the one that came out the hyperbolic time chamber with Vegeta, and yeah, he's pretty good for future. And we're gonna put Cooler right here because he is good support for the Lineage of Evil. Not Lineage of Evil. Well, he could work on Lineage of Evil, but also Saga from the movies. And D tier, we're gonna put Android 17. He was never really good at all, but I'll throw him in there because of favoritism, because I like his character. I would just throw him in Dirty Laundry, honestly, if I really wanted to. Alright, next up is EX Pan. She is God freaking tier. Like, that's not even a debate. Anyone who has her can tell you that she is possibly one of the best EX in the game. Her strike attack gives you poison, her blast attack gives you bleed, and her special move, I think, gives you paralysis or something. That is insane for an extreme character. She definitely deserves to be a sparking unit. But next up is Red Khalifa. She can go into A tier. She's not as good as her sparking counterpart, but she can still be used if you don't have her sparking character. She can still be used, but she won't be putting up strike damage. She'll mostly put up some blast damage. EX Jiro can go in there too. For an old unit, he is surprisingly good. He is a surprisingly good counter for Super Vegeta, and he was really good for this EX Battle Royale. And we're gonna throw Krillin in Dirty Laundry because, you know, Krillin. Sorry, D3. But I would honestly, like, just because I love Bardock, I would throw him in S tier, but I really can't. I can't. I would even throw him in God tier, but I just can't, guys. I just can't. I have to throw him in A tier. He is not as good as he used to be. Like, he was possibly one of the best EX in the game. I keep saying that, but yeah, I'm gonna throw him in S tier because I'm that, you know, favoritism against him. So I'm gonna throw EX Turles and EX Frieza in S tier as well because they got a buff and they are amazing. Same with I'm gonna throw EX Vegeta in A tier because he is still really good. He got a buff. He didn't get a buff recently. He got a buff a while ago, but he is still really good for support and damage if you don't have a good sand character, green sand character. But I'm gonna throw EX Thouser in S tier because he can be used for the sagas from the movies, and he can be used like for like the Cooler Force when he comes out. And I'm gonna throw EX 18 in God tier as well because EX 17 and 18, these two right here, the ones at the top, they're the best. They're the best EX in the game, possibly right next to Evil Boo. Like, they're possibly the best in the game. Next up is Extreme Frieza. He can go into A tier. He didn't get a. I don't think he got a buff. If he did get a buff, correct me if I'm wrong. But he's still really good for the EX Battle Royale and for Frieza 4th character. And EX Gohan he go into A tier because I actually used him when I didn't have Sparking Feature Gohan, and he was a really good replacement. So next up is Nappa. Also, I'm gonna put him in D tier because he is he's like in between, like he's in between Dirty Laundry and D tier. But I'll just put him in D tier because why not? And C tier, I'm gonna throw this base Vegeta because he was honestly really good. His like when he came out like a while ago when the sidestep was still a thing, he was possibly one of the best characters to do it because his strike attack was actually better than the Sparking Vegeta, which was the best striker at the time, besides Kid Gohan. But next up is Demon King Piccolo. He got a buff recently too, and he is phenomenal, so he gets an A tier. EX Beerus would go into A tier, but he's Beerus, so he goes into B tier because they nerfed like all Beeruses. Beerus could possibly be one of the best units in the game, but they nerfed him. And I'm gonna throw the Doria in B tier, you know, because he's freaking the Doria. He's not bad, but you know, yeah. Another gut tier unit, Evil Boo. He is phenomenal. Do I even have to explain why he goes in God tier? Like for real. Oh, whoops. Do I even have to explain? Because his damage speaks for himself. Alright, so next up is Extreme Goku, which I'll throw him in B tier. I'll throw him in there immediately because he's used like the reason he doesn't get a buff is because people always have him on his team. Like the characters that get buffs are people who don't use him. Since people keep using him as support, he never gets a buff. So as Mercenary Tao goes into S tier because his critical is insane. He can be used on a critical team with like Super Vegeta and all the other characters that have high critical. I can't name off the top of my head. EXTN go into D tier with Chaozu because if you run a Super Warrior team, you kind of have to run him because you kind of need a counter for Super Vegeta, and if you don't have a counter for Super Vegeta, then you're kind of screwed because everyone has Super Vegeta or Trunks. You just basically need a yellow character. Next up is EX Vegeta. He goes into A tier. He's not bad. He's not good. He's kind of in between. Not really much to say about him. But we do have something to say about this boy right here. God tier. Freaking Whis. Whis goes immediately into God tier because he supports God Ki. He is an amazing support, and when he dies, he gets all the God Ki units some buffs. So he can actually make Beerus really good. If you want to run them together. Another God tier is Lord Slug because I've been using him so much on a region team. He is one of the perfect counters next to Janemba for region. Like he's like a perfect Super Vegeta counter if you don't have like Super Perfect Cell. Next up, wait, what am I doing? Wait. Okay, so next up is Vegeta. Scarlet Vegeta, he got a buff too. He's good for the Frieza Force, and yeah, that's basically all I have to say about all these characters. This is my tier list, and tell me what you guys think in the comments about my AX tier list. And if you guys want me to make a hero tier list, then let me know in the comments below. So thank you guys so much for watching, and thumbnail.